Supersonic Seals playing against Midnight Blitz. Both these teams, of course, very well known in the Blackwatch Tower scene. And definitely expecting to see a great matchup here. I'm, of course, joined with my friends Feel with it.
Hello.
And we're definitely going to be hoping to see a great game today, loading up on Ilios. Now, Ilios is definitely a fan favorite map. I personally love how it looks. The clean white architecture with the Greek backdrop just looks absolutely stellar. And, well, loading up on Ruin here, this is a very interesting point. You see a lot of Widowmakers played on this map because of the long-range sightlines. But on point, you see it's a very closed-in point. It has high walls, so you can't really get a great angle onto it unless you jump up onto the platform over the point. And that does put you in a difficult spot if you're trying to get an angle on a DPS such as McCree or maybe even Soldier. And we see right away Nick shot on the Widowmaker as well as Chester Whitby.
That's true. I mean, like, Angels of the first thing when it comes to this map is either you play the McCree or you play the Widowmaker. And really, if you have the McCree, you have more pressure on the point. But then if whoever wins the Widow duel basically creates so much space for the enemy team.
And for our friendly viewers out here, do you want to go ahead and tell us which team is which, as they aren't really labeled just yet?
Yeah, they're not labeled. Team 1 is the Seals, and Team 2 is Midnight Blitz.
Well, we will be getting into it now, and the biggest difference I see here is a Mei on one side and not on the other. Mei's an extremely strong hero right now, but with his Sleep Dart onto the Reinhardt, Supersonic Seals in a position to push up, but the Mei wall is great there, separating the Rein from his healers temporarily. But there it goes down,
oh,
the Lucio will be 1-1. Even though they've lost a player, they've gotten 2 kills now. Supersonic Seals getting pushed out, 1 kill being traded back, but it won't be enough. Great positioning from Supersonic Seals. They need to give up a little bit of ground. They give up some percentage perhaps on the point, but they end up winning the fight. And at the end of the day, it's exactly what you're looking for on the defensive side.
I think
now
the Mei, they really didn't capitalize on the Mei wall. I think Midnight Blitz were quite slow on the approach. And so if you're running a Mei, you really do have to focus at Reinhardt. Otherwise, the enemy team's going to punish you, especially... Oh, and the Widowmaker goes down with a clean headshot off the Chester Whitby.
And Omni getting bursted out of the mech as well. Another big difference here we see is Freltal choosing to play the Zarya over the D.Va. It means that he can help his Reinhardt out if he gets frozen out. And with so much damage being done, it's really difficult for the side of Midnight Blitz to even find a place to back up with. And Freltal just fragging out on the Zarya so far, putting in an absurd amount of damage. Already has a grab available as well.
Zarya is a very unorthodox pick, especially in this meta, Angels, because D.Va is predominantly used for her defense matrix, but also for her mobility to deal with unexpected snipers. And here comes the surprise grab. It is a huge anti-biotic grenade. It is disgusting from the Sonic Seals right now. They are playing clean, and Midnight Blitz have nothing to say at this moment.
As you said, the anti really was the nail in the coffin right there. The pulse bomb cleans up plenty of damage, and even though the mail was great from Dan, not enough to deny the anti-nade, which would have probably ended up saving his team. But now Supersonic Seals trying to play a little more defensive. They have plenty of ults still to hold on to this thing.
They do have the Blizzard. They don't have a D.Va to the grab. That's a big Sleep Dart. Can they land the Earth Shatter? They do hit the Brig. The Brig falls down. I don't think they're going to lose this fight because of the early pick. That was a clutch Sleep Dart from JJ.The. And they also invest the Blizzard. I think they're going to want that one back.
Yeah, definitely an unfortunate Blizzard there. And now Dan in a position where he has to rush to the point. Very low health. Can't even get the touch. And 99-0 takes over 100 as Supersonic Seals take a dominant first point on Ruins.
Just dominance. I don't think they lost a single team fight. 0 to 100 there. Midnight Blitz need to have mental fortitude in order to come back into this round. But they're playing very clean right now.
Yeah, as you said, definitely some heroes that you might want to be changing out on the side of Supersonic Seals, but you didn't really seem to mind having the weaker heroes, as it seems like they're playing more on comfort picks. And at the end of the day, if you're comfortable and your team knows what they're doing, you can definitely outplay teams with just straight up better compositions. But we see now Midnight Blitz making an interesting swap over to the dive now with Dan taking the role of the Soldier.
Yeah, you're spot on there. My team isn't the most comfortable on the meta, but when we go in our comfort picks, I think that's when we really shine. We did try to run Mei, but it doesn't really work, and I don't think a lot of our players like playing Mei either, so they are going to try going to point, but the dive comes in to try to stop them. Kind of biotic grenades lands on the Reinhardt, but I'm not sure if the dive can... the Tracer gets slapped into a pin on the Reinhardt.
A huge sleeve coming out from Deb does get moved off the map, but it might be enough for the Reinhardt on the side of Supersonic Seals here to bring it back. He's putting in a lot of damage, and they can't really push it.
Exactly, they huge chunk of damage gets lost, but then their own Tracer, the Widowmaker gets slapped on the other side, but I think it's not going to be anything. They're going to have to reset the point.
And you saw Supersonic Seals with a great rotation. They played very close together, and with a dive composition, you want to try and find people that are split off. Whereas Rick jumped into the front line as the Winston. That's not really the play you want to be looking for.
Yeah, that's not what you want to do. You want to really go on the squishy targets, especially Diana. Diana is probably the biggest target there. You get the main healer, then the entire team kind of crumbles like a house of cards.
Chester Whitby taking down very low, has to recall. And with that, it means that they have an opportunity on the side of Supersonic Seals. The sleep dart goes
Monkey
out.
Immediately forced out the primal, but then the monkey somehow ends up falling off the edge, I think.
Seems like an unfortunate jump there, but the trades are even so far. Omni Cephas on the D, but trying his best to mitigate damage, but not enough. Taken down very low, has to back out temporarily, and in the meantime, the point is taken up, still even on the point, but the shatter is there.
Oh, the shatter comes in just to clean up. Gets slapped, but I think it's
out. Oh man, not enough though. Omnicephus very low, does manage to get healed up by his Ana in the meantime, and now so many ultimates up for either side. That
is true, but although they're going to have a huge ultimate advantage here, they do still have the sound barrier to negate any damage. It's about whether they can use these abilities, right? The dive is going to come in top left to try and dive the Widow, but then the protection comes in. Here comes the sound barrier. They're just going to take cover, not use any ults. Here comes the pulse bomb. He has no shield left. And so, here comes the grab.
And with the grab comes 2 more kills. The pin comes out from Depp. Is he going to be able to block the bomb? He does. His team is safe for now. They're trying their best to stay in the fight. And with Nino getting a kill, it's going to be difficult for the side of Midnight Blitz to bring this back. So many kills going over to the side of Supersonic Seals. The Nano Boost at Reinhardt there just to nail the coffin in. The sound barrier is there for the touch. If Midnight Blitz is stall long enough, they might have a chance. But with the Rhine swinging away, it's going to be hard for Rathel to stay alive. And just like that, an extremely one-sided first map coming out for Supersonic Seals.
Oh, I'm very proud of my team, Angels. I think they played very clean, very clean. I don't think we lost a single fight there. Well-deserved play of the game from our main support here.
Yeah, of course, as you said, just absolutely solid playing the anti-nade. And this grab was just... Oh my god. That's exactly what you want to see from your Ana, finding an angle to get her a nade through the sleep dart,
and
just managing
the stagger too,
right
the
there.
Brutal stagger on the D.Va.
Yeah.
I only just seen that now.
Just absolutely perfect play coming out so far from Supersonic Seals. We're gonna have to see if they can keep it up for this next map. Now, as we were saying, a big difference we saw was between the tank lines, Zarya versus the D.Va. Now, of course, D.Va as a whole is probably the stronger character between the two. But Zarya does a great job of warding off a D.Va. So much damage that can't be defense matrix in the slightest. It means that D.Vas have to be very careful when engaging onto a brawl comp with a Zarya.
Ooh, one of my players needs to restart. Okay, that's fine.
So we will be taking a break rather quickly, and in the meantime, that means we can talk a little bit more about what we saw in the last map. Now, we did see Midnight Blitz swap over to the dive composition for the second round, and they chose to run the Soldier with it. Now, the Soldier is definitely an interesting pick. He was ran for a pretty decent amount of time for a couple weeks ago now in the Overwatch League, but Soldier on his own he seems kind of difficult to get value out of, where you could run something like a Doomfist or even a Sombra to try and get more value in the mid-fight as opposed to trying to go for ultimate plays.
Yeah, I think the problem with Soldier is for the longest of time he's always been a decent pick. He was just always outmatched by other kind of characters. He would always just have like gradual chip damage compared to characters like McCree or Widow, other hit scan that can just get like really clean pickoffs. And if you're not securing kills as Soldier, you're pretty much just feeding the enemy team ult charge. So I think the Helix Rocket buff, I think, makes it a bit better because you can have really a Helix Rocket burst damage every kind of engage you have. So it's a bit interesting. Soldier kind of fits in like this really weird place right now. He's a very still a niche off pick, but I can see him get some value like we saw in the last map.
Yeah, personally, if it were me playing a Soldier, I'd definitely be looking for a lot more like a Tracer play style where you want to be going on some deep flanks, getting an off angle onto the enemy team's backline perhaps, and going for a big Helix Rocket or even just a flanking visor. A Soldier does get a lot of value on the flank. It's become a bit of a meme in the Overwatch community, but Soldier is definitely one of the best heroes to flank. He has mobility, he has a survivability. All he needs is the great aim coming in, and unfortunately just not enough value out of the Soldier pick on that last round to really justify it, in my opinion.
Totally agree with you there, buddy. Okay, we it seems that we have our player back. I'm just going to contact the other captain, and then we should get the next map going. It is Hollywood, right? The next map.
I do believe it is Hollywood. And on this map, I'm definitely excited what we're going to see happen, especially on the second point. Second point of Hollywood is one of the most versatile points in the game, in my personal opinion. You can run so many different compositions to such great effect. It really just depends on what your team's most comfortable on. And as you said, Supersonic Seals definitely feels a lot more comfortable on the Death Volley comps with the Rhine, with the Zarya. Just trying to brawl it out on the point, trying to take ground and hold it, not so much as take ground and just dive on one specific character trying to get an early pick off just like that.
It's going to be interesting.
Again,
like you said,
Hollywood,
oh, yeah,
sorry.
It's okay.
Well, as we were saying, dive is definitely a little bit more difficult to run into these dive compositions, but on Hollywood's second point, dive has a lot more of a place in the meta. It has a lot of high ground you can very easily control with your tanks, and well, if you can control the high ground, that means you can drop in on the enemy team without having to use any cooldowns to engage, meaning you can use your cooldowns to escape if you get low as a tank player. So, second point of Hollywood definitely opens up the opportunity for dive a lot more for Midnight Blitz if they so choose to run it.
Definitely. I think also the fact that a lot of people don't know this, Mei got nerfed in this current patch. So she's not as strong, but she's still good if you know how to play the Death Ball kind of Mei comp. But the problem is with that, dive can really abuse it because you don't even have to engage. You don't even have to brawl through. You just need to out-rotate the enemy team, pick a target, and make sure you can kind of bait out the really long cooldowns like the Mei Wall, like the Cryo Freeze Ice Block. And then dive can really shine and punish there. You don't really want to brawl frontline on dive. You just want to get in, get out as quickly as possible, get the kills. But it looks like we are going to be running this the Zarya as well. We're not going to be running the D.Va. The Sonic Seals seem to have liked the Zarya a lot more than the D.Va, which is interesting. And
Nino on the Genji, I like this pick. It's definitely an interesting one, and Genji has a lot of mobility on this map that you can get to play safely. Now we see Frontal very low. The nade is out. Oh, just barely. Man, Dev with the insane heals coming up, and Chester Whippy finds the angle on a Nick Shaw, as we said before. McCree with the pick potential. There goes Chester Whippy, though. Nino is taking him out, trying to even it up for his team. But Dan for the win on the Doofus. There's a lot of pressure being put on the backline here for the side of Supersonic Seals. Ooh, great kill coming out from Dan for the win.
Oh, it is looking very good for Midnight Blitz in this first point at the moment. The Doomfist is really coming in there. It was that initial pick. You lose a huge part of damage in the initial fight when you lose your McCree. And that just pretty much opened the door for Midnight Blitz there in the first point.
Yeah, especially running DPS heroes like McCree and Genji. Genji doesn't really provide that much outright damage. He can help a lot in the mid-fight when it comes to his dash resets and his reflect. But when it comes to just raw damage output, he doesn't really shine there, whereas
he doesn't, no. McCree does. Genji's mid-fight... Oh, that was a huge Biotic grenade. Lands 3 there. I think.
And then Nano Blade is available too if they so choose to go for it on the defensive side here. This is definitely an opportunity to hold for the side of Supersonic Seals.
Luca doesn't have the sound barrier yet. It's in 8%. He is going to match the sound barrier here. It's going to be an interesting trade. What are they going to do? They invest the Graviton.
Ooh, and the grab to bait out the sound barrier is surely going to be seen. The Genji Blade come out after this with the Shatter is whiff. Nice shield coming out on defense.
Oh, the Doomfist goes down. They can't match a set of... Oh no.
What a crucial pick coming out from Dan. The Shatter's available, but no, the flash being Chester Whippy coming up clutch for his team. Now Rick has the opportunity to pin forward in Grapple Crumpet again with the coalescence early on in the fight. So much healing being put out by this Moira and an absurd amount of ult charge being gained. But as you said, now that the sound barrier is down, they have the Nano Blade on the defensive side. Depth going down in that fight was definitely a difficult situation for the side of Supersonic Seals to be in.
Definitely.
But they have an opportunity
They
now.
were thinking about it. They were definitely thinking, here comes the Nano Blade. The Nano Blade is coming in.
Oh, the flash string misses. There goes two. Nino looking for a third. Can't find anything else. In the meantime, though, on defense, loses a mech. And this is an opportunity here. Feltel now on the D.Va trying to burn the enemy teams. Reinhardt does find a kill. And while Omni's been trying to kill Nino, in the meantime, his front line gets absolutely decimated without their D.Va. Now, coming up into this next fight, Omni has the self-destruct available. Gonna have to see how he chooses to use this one. As Rick is coming up on the Earth Shatter as well. If they can find an opportunity for a good Shatter, a D.Va bomb would be an easy choice to go for an early kill.
Oh,
nice
Falco did switch onto the D.Va to try and deal with these really mobile characters. I think that's a better pick, honestly. The Xayah just, I think, is not doing much. Like, the peel is a lot better from the D.Va. Very nice disengage from the Sonic Seals from the High Noon. And they get a pick off the Lucio. That is huge. This could win the entire fight right here. The Shatter gets blocked, traded. Here comes the bomb from Midnight Blitz. It gets the Reinhardt in return. Here comes the Shatter from Midnight Blitz.
And so, what looked like a 1-5 for Supersonic Seals is devolving slowly into maybe a win here for the side of Midnight Blitz. Nice kills coming out.
Trades coming through, but I think the Midnight Blitz are going to be able to win the fight and get to the second checkpoint.
And just great take play coming out from the side of Midnight Blitz. Absolutely won in that fight. From the bomb to the Shatter, blocking the Shatter as well. Really great play coming out from Rick there. I'm very glad to see how much better he looks in the Reinhardt so far.
The Seals are going to make the switch to the Doomfist to try and match down on that Doomfist. He does have the Meteor Strike available.
Oh no!
Oh, Dan loses the 1v1.
Man, what a bait from Nino. Just waited for him to punch in, then counter punched him back. The sleep dart doesn't manage to get the punch onto the sleeping target. But so many ults are coming online just now. Gonna have to see how they get used. Flashbang gets missed there from the defensive side. It means an opportunity here for the side of Midnight Blitz to push in aggressively. The bomb is there. Can they get away from it?
Nice disengage from the Midnight Blitz, but here comes the Meteor Strike. Can he get anybody? He does get in a safer position to try and look for a pick.
I do like the idea here, going for a safer position as opposed to going for a kill. Now a lot of pressure being put out. The coalescence
here
is
comes
out.
the zoning High Noon. Is he going to get any picks? The sound barrier comes in just in time from Luca. Here comes the Shatter lands big.
Dab, after getting the Nano, cleans up House, landing a big Shatter, letting his team push up extremely aggressively. You don't even need to land 4, 5, 6 people in the Shatter. All you need is 2 or 3, as we've seen so far coming out from these Reinhardts in this matchup.
And ult economy wise, it's looking very even for both teams. 2 ultimates each, but they are going to have that crucial sound barrier to try and negate most of that damage. Here comes a zoning High Noon. The speed boost coming in, but then Dan falls again from Ninotro.
And the shield gets broken on the defensive side. Rick has a free Shatter
Ninotro is
available.
clearing house on the back line.
Nino going absolutely ham. As you said, the Shatter's there though.
The Shatter, the beat is clutch.
Soundberry just barely saves his teammates, and Nino, there goes the third punch in the fight. Just doing so much work on his Doomfist. There he goes forward, looking for a 5th. Can he find it? The Sombra comes out as well. On the attacking side, Chester Whippy has had enough of this man.
Going on that Sombra to try and counter that Doomfist, but can he get a hack? The mobility and the peel is there from his team. Trying to get that EMP. There is enough time, I think. Trying to get the hack off the Reinhardt. Nice disengage. Oh, very close pick off there. Nearly from the McCree. Gotta be careful. Try not to lose your head.
Oh, Nino yet
really
again with an early pick. The flank here from Nick Shot
Nano.
turns him around while Deb.
The Nano.
Oh man, just absolutely clean play coming out here on third point for Supersonic Seals. Below a minute and a half now for Midnight Blitz. They have to find an opening here. And with this Reaper Sombra, it's going to be really difficult for these DPS to synergize together to really find an opportunity to get an early pick.
The stagger on the D.Va there is massive too. Just extra time on the clock being drained. Ninocho really wants to get that MVP of this match.
Oh,
they already
early there.
They spot it.
Oh.
The Reaper already uses Ray Form. Clutch. They need to focus this Reaper here. And they do. And another one fight. Chester Whipping is not even nearly halfway to that EMP with 30 seconds left. I think it's not going to be enough to get the Sombra here.
Well, if Chester Whipping can find an angle to hack the Reinhardt on the defensive side, they have the D.Va Bomb available. As you said, though, has to be spamming out for this EMP if he wants to save this fight for his team. The Sleep Dart comes out into Omni. The Shatter is there, though. Nice follow-up. Dan gets a kill on a Death, but it doesn't matter. 2 kills for Supersonic Seals.
I think they should be able to win this here. The Sonic Seals already getting 2 picks in the defense. They have Bastard respawns. The Shadow comes in. He misses the pin. I think they're able to hold.
And Omni greedy doesn't commit the D.Va Bomb. The EP whiffs. The sound barrier is there on the attacking side.
They do get the no-throw. They do get both DPS down. The huge damage is off the side of the Sonic Seals. He is forced to use the sound barrier of the racked Reinhardt. Definitely not over. The fight is still going here.
Luca already had 25% to his next sound barrier. He just used it. Nino's on the Bastion though. I don't think they've realized this just yet. The D.Va Bomb comes out, nothing gets found, but the Nano Boost is there. Onto the defensive right, the Shatter goes out, nothing.
The main healer goes down.
Wrathful Crumpet's fallen in this fight once and for, and maybe we can see Luca keep his team up long enough, but
the Bastion comes in, the emergency Bastion! It's Hugo!
And what looked like an absolutely close fight gets clutched up by Nino on the Bastion. Nice flank coming out, but we've got to give credit where credit is due. McCree on the defense there, great shot, taking Luca out of the fight. He kept his team up before, and Hiko was ready to deny him that opportunity a second time around.
I just don't know why the Moira was all the way in the backline there. And then it was an easy flash for Nick Shot, really, just to get that pick off. But I think they were just trying to secure kills. But when you're so far from your team, and when you get picked off that early in the fight, the team loses so much healing in that fight. And I think really that is when the cookie crumbled there for Midnight Blitz.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a little bit of competitive ranked seeping into this match with the flanking Moira plays. Now, Midnight Blitz, it's not over for them. They definitely have an opportunity here to win this map. All they need to do is hold before where they got the payload, and frankly, they did get it pretty far onto third. So if they can clean their play up just a little bit more, they definitely have a good opportunity here. And
definitely.
Actually, I do really like this Hanzo pick coming out from the defense. That's a lot of spam damage coming out to try and deny the Reinhardt some more value.
Definitely. I mean, the D.Va is going to try and neutralize the amount of damage from the Storm Arrow, but we shall see. If they can full hold, they're going to need to have a robust, ironclad defense if they want to stop this team from taking the second map.
Absolutely. And right away, you do see people generally hold up in front of the choke on Hollywood, trying to get some early ult charge, trying to spam out just to get some damage. And unfortunately, not really too much coming up for the defensive side. Frontal very low right now, taking down extremely low. Takes the Hanzo, I believe.
That's a lot of charge for both teams, but especially for that Nano boost. They are initially trying to bully this Reinhardt.
Oh, the sleep dart!
He gets antied and the Reinhardt is going down. He is getting bullied. I feel so bad. I know what it's like to be on the other side of that.
Yeah, I think we've all felt that one before, but in the meantime, Supersonic Seals, just an absolutely perfect fight so far. I think maybe not even losing anyone at all. Clean fight coming out. I don't think they even lost D.Va Mech at any point.
They didn't lose anybody in that engage, and the ult economy is just looking clean for the blue team right now. Just look at the ult percentage. I don't think they even... Nobody died after that, and look at the ult economy from the Sonic Seals.
And we gotta give massive props to the support line on the side of Supersonic Seals so far. They've just looked absolutely clinical so far, putting in so much damage. The sleep darts are being landed, the anti-nades, the sound barriers, it's all been
sound barriers,
great.
yeah, they are all clicking in. The synergy is looking very good for this team, but that being said, the Lucio falls down, Dan is popping off. The caster curse. Oh, here comes the Shatter! The Shatter says otherwise! The Shatter says no, we will not fall in this map!
And Depp just barely gets a kill onto the enemy Reinhardt. These anti-nades coming in on the attacking side are just absolutely devastating. They haven't found an answer for it so far. Omni not able to eat them. And every single time they land, it seems like the enemy team's Reinhardt falls down. And now we see the Ana flanking through jail, looking for or maybe an anti or even a sleep dart over here. Very aggressive position coming out from
trying to at least, I think, sleep the Reinhardt. Here comes the bomb to try and get them fixed. It is huge from Throttle. Throttle gets 2.
Credit where credit is due, though. Brave sleep dart means that the Reinhardt isn't there to block the bomb. And Nick Shaw taking down Chester Whitby. Seems like it's falling apart here for the side of Midnight Blitz, doing the best to hang on, but unfortunately just not enough so far.
They are looking unstoppable on this offense right now. They're going to need to have a perfect defense if they're going to want to stop this payload going in, and the McCree kind of overextends there and gets punished for it.
Now Frontal, nice kill on to Chester Whippy. The dash comes in from Nito,
they are forced to use the
aggressive.
Coalescence. That is insane, the amount of pressure coming up from the attackers, forcing out the Coalescence when they didn't really need to use it, but they were forced to. The Reinhardt was on the verge of collapsing there. They are going to have a bunch of ultimates.
Yeah, the support line for Midnight Blitz don't really have a defensive ult for this Nano Blade that's coming up soon enough. Just waiting on the Nano now.
Here comes the Nano Blade to trying to sleep dart.
Oh!
And he gets shut down by Chester Whitby. Oh, it is...
The bomb comes out. Oh, that's a good kill.
You hate to see it, folks. You hate to see it.
Absolutely, and with the Lucio falling with the sound barrier, it means that Midnight Blitz have an opportunity to hang on. But if they want to win this, map, they have to hold on for at least another 4 minutes and 18 seconds.
That is an eternity in Overwatch, Angels. That's going to take perfect defense.
Oh yeah.
They're going to try to dive this McCree. Here comes the help, and the healing comes from Midnight Blitz.
Supersonic Blitz just walk forward at half HP without their... Oh, the flashbang under the Shatter, it goes down.
Oh, the counter Shatter comes in, but the beat is able to save it.
And Nino denies the Deadeye as well. Nino picking up 3 yet again, looking to clean up another 4K for his team right now. Trying to win it right here for his team. So many picks going over to the side of Supersonic Seals. And they take map 2, another very strong map coming out for this team.
They're popping up. I don't even know what to say right now. Like, really, the Genji pops up. Genji is not even supposed to be played in this meta. Genji is just arguably one of the worst DPS right now. You might as well just be running Doomfist because he's just a better Genji. But this Earth Shatter really here. The Reinhardt falls, and it is a fatty Shaddy. That's what we call in the industry a fatty Shaddy. You just love to see those connect.
And crucially, you see their great mechanics coming out from Depp with starting the Earth Shatter animation before he even turns. He was confident that he knew where the enemy team was, and going for triggering the Earth Shatter so early there means you have less. You make it so the enemy team has less time to react, less time to land maybe a sleep dart or a flashbang on you, and at the same time, it just makes it so that you get through the Earth Shatter animation so much faster. You can get in there, start swinging away before even your own team can help you out.
Exactly. Clean Earth Shatter. It's just at the moment, Angels is looking very dominant and very one-sided. I think
absolutely.
Midnight Blitz are going to have to take a look in the reflection and really find out what is going wrong in the team right now, because they are 2 maps down in the semi-final. They're going to need to wake up and see what's going wrong. I don't know what's going wrong with this team. Is it because they're not playing as good, or is it because they're just not playing synergized as a team? I'm not really sure what's wrong with this team at the moment.
Well, Phil, if I had to boil it down to one thing, I think it does have to come down to this anti-ancient sleep darts coming out from Supersonic Seals. Omni hasn't been able to find the angles to eat those, and it's just been so much value coming out for the side of Supersonic Seals. They have easy ways to kill the enemy team's Reinhardt before the fight even really begins, especially since Midnight Blitz only seem to be running the D.Va so far. They don't really have a way to cleanse the anti-nades, and without the Lucio especially, you don't have a way to disengage once your Reinhardt gets antied, once somebody on your team gets slept, you can't really reposition your Reinhardt if you don't have a Lucio. So really have to see if they can find some way to deny the enemy team's Ana, who's just been getting an absolutely insane amount of value so far.
That is a really good point there. I think the Ana really opens the door, especially against the Reinhardt 1v1s, especially if you land those sleep darts. It can just turn the fight around, just making it a 6v5 very fast. Just making confirmation if both teams are ready, and we should be ready to go in a third map.
And something else you do have to consider as well, especially with the composition that Midnight Blitz decided to run for their defense. With the Ana Moira, that leaves less room for Ana to get ult charge for healing, which means the enemy team is going to be building more nanos than you are as a whole. We did see several more nanos coming out from depth, as opposed to Midnight Blitz. Sorry, I can't remember the Ana player's name off the top of my head.
It's all right.
But we did see plenty more nano boosts coming out on the attacking side as opposed to the defensive side, because Moira does take up a lot of that healing ult charge for Ana, and it means that your team can't be getting as aggressive with the nano boosts like we saw.
That's true. I mean, we at the same time we can't really blame it necessarily on the Midnight Blitz Ana, because Freltel is doing a really good job pressuring this Ana, and also the
absolutely.
DPS, making it very hard to land the shots, making it very hard to make the very fast decisions, and so it gives the enemy Ana, like JJ a lot more freedom to really land these shots on his tanks, because they're playing a lot more aggressive, and especially if you run these kind of death ball compositions, when you get picked, you need to take the space.
Yeah, 100%. Freltal looked great on the Zarya, but on the D.Va, he just seems to be everywhere at once, putting pressure on the tanks, on the DPS, on the supports. If you need it, he's there, and he's been absolutely crucial in letting his team win this fight.
D.Va is just one of those characters, really, that if you have a good one on your team right now, you're going to win games, because if you can negate ultimates, negate like certain CCs from coming through, you're just going to be having a good time, really. No one's really going to die unless they're just bad.
And Dan playing the Mei here actually might get countered by the Symmetra being run by
It's
by
interesting
Nick
that...
Shot.
Oh, they run the TP on the right side!
Oh! It goes so far away that you have no idea where it's coming from, but now they're in a position to get walled off. The wall is out. They have to punish on this right now. The anti-nade is there. Nice pick
it goes on the
Rick.
Symmetra, goes down. The wall cuts him off.
And that's crucial. The longer fight lasts, the more value Symmetra
the
gets.
sleep dart from Luca
early.
gets in the Nitro slept.
Chester Whippy almost taken down. Freltal was so aggressive, manages to get the Hanzo. He's alone
That's
without his
actually
whole
huge.
team and still gets the kill.
That's huge. They're still investing in this fight. The fastest spawns are up for the attackers. I think at this point, they should just reset.
Absolutely. As you said, spawns are there for the attacking side, but with that many kills coming in, not really worth staggering in over and over again on the attack. Now we do see, oh my god, the ult charge on JJ Tepe is so high. Oh, but he gets woken up.
He gets woken up, he wins the 1v1. That is huge, a huge substantial healing from the enemy team. And JJ falls to Luca, unfortunately. But it's still looking very good, actually.
Oh, the Dragon Strike is there, splits up the enemy team. Nino, very aggressive dash, gets trunked down by the Hanzo. So much damage being put out by Chester Whippy so far. The wall comes out.
Oh, he shatters into the wall. Oh no! You hate to see it, folks. You hate to see it.
Despite all of that, though, plenty of kills coming out for the defense. Nino does commit to Blade, looking for a second, finds two. You can't let it get away with that kind of stuff. Wrathful Crumpet, though, there with the Moira, Biotic Grass, just chunking away at the Genji, slowly taking down his health.
That's really good for the Sonic Seals, though. They did take down 2 with the Dragon Blade. They're going to have faster respawns.
Absolutely.
Here's an
Chester
opening.
Chester Whippy's gonna get back soon, but JJ just coming back, Luca coming back is gonna take so long.
Oh, that's a huge pick up from Moira! Oh, with a flashbang coming too, that was clean from the Sonic Seals, but they end up getting 2. Oh, to get 3 with the Blizzard!
Omni and Dan, they don't want to let one go just yet. Frontal getting frozen up, not gonna be able to run away just yet.
Oh no, here comes the brutal stagger.
Oh,
the stagger is gonna be brutal.
It looked for a second like the Blizzard wouldn't be enough. Nice boop as well, making sure that Omni gets a little bit of that ult charge as well. Man,
at the moment, the defense for Midnight Blitz is looking really strong. I think the Seals are finding it very hard to kind of crack this Mei. It's very infamous. Even before Mei was meta, getting through this choke. Oh, they did waste the wall though. Okay, that's big. Here comes the Seals.
Nade gets blocked as well. Here comes Nino.
It's now 11. Oh, but then the pick was huge.
Oh, Luca, nice shots onto Nino as well, keeping up his Hanzo in the meantime. The nade gets blocked yet again, and SS on this Reinhardt looked absolutely great at blocking the nades coming out from the defensive side, but just isn't enough so far. And now on the point, we're going to see the Dragon Strike yet again, and well, close enough to the Blizzard as well. Dan definitely has a big opportunity here to clutch up for his team. And with 23 seconds left, this is their last opportunity on his side of Supersonic Seals.
SD does have the Earth Shatter. Here comes the Nano. He's going to have to land the big one to open it for his team. It gets blocked.
The block! Oh, the Coalescence comes out on the defense. The Blizzard is out, but so many kills are coming out for the attacking side right now. The Coalescence is huge, but not enough. Nino picks up 2, looking for a 3rd. Rick does trade back for Nick's shot. So much damage being put out on the defensive side.
Going back and forth right now. It could be anybody's game, but I think the Sonic Seals are going to be taking the first point, almost on the verge of getting full health.
And an absolutely incredible defense finally comes to an end. You don't generally see full holds on 2CP.
It is very rare to get full holds on 2CP.
Oh, yeah.
But that was a very strong defense. They shaved off nearly 4 minutes on that time bank. They're going to be very proud of that one, but they are also going to be very, very sad that they use that Blizzard, because look at the ult economy, Angels. They're going to have 3 ultimates in the bank, and they're on the verge of snowballing this second point.
I think this fight really is going to come down 100% to Luca and Dan. If Luca can find a big anti-nade or a sleep dart, that means that his team can get an early kill and really start to stabilize when it comes to ult charge differences. And Dan, the wall comes out. Can they find the punish?
Oh, the Tracer. Interesting pick on the Tracer.
No!
The flashbang. He just not able to capitalize.
The Nano comes out on the attacking, defensive side. The Salvage's there. Sleep dart is there. Nice sleep coming out from Luca. I told you he needed to come up clutch, and it looks like he's looking for it just now. Has to find an anti, trying to keep his Reinhardt up.
Nino gets the mercy. Nino gets the Reinhardt.
Well, look, such great play coming out from Luca. Is it going to be enough? The sleep dart is there onto the defensive end. The ice block is all between. All the sense between Midnight Blitz and a fast cap on the second point. Nino going absolutely hands so far.
There goes the ult advantage. I don't think Tracer was the right pick. Not against the McCree. Not in this meta right now. The Tracer is an emergency, no recall, and it is looking very dire for the Midnight Blitz. What was looking to be a very strong defense is now sadly a very fast snowball for the Sonic Seals. They're trying to salvage and drain as much time as possible.
Oh, the shatter. And all things considered, this stall has gone on for longer than Supersonic Seals would like for it to go on for. Freltal does get a kill on a Wrathful Crumpet. Can anybody touch? No, the bomb unfortunately doesn't get a chance to have any value. And as you said, the Tracer pick definitely very strange in my opinion there. Running Mei Tracer really leaves a lot of pressure gone from your front line. Tracer definitely wants to put pressure on the back line, but when you're running such a close quarters deathball composition, it's very hard to find pick-off potential on an enemy team.
They had 3 forms of CC on the Seals side, and it was makes it very difficult, really. I think they were just trying to pressure the Ana, but it's just that when they're playing so close to the team, you can't really get in, and it just makes it so that there's not much damage being done at all to the Seals side. And that's where really the moment where they get the initial pick, and I was just about to say before that entire thing went down, the attackers need to have a perfect attack. Like, you can't make trades. The defense, especially on the second point and point B, they just need at least 2 picks to stabilize at least the point. And the moment you securing any kills and then they get a pick off of you, it's kind of easy pickings for the enemy team because they have ultimates to use, and that's where it kind of went down. It was such a shame. I mean, it's still winnable. It's TCP. 1 minute 24 is not the greatest time bank, but it is going to be difficult to try and break this defense. We're going to have to wait and see what they do.
Especially with Nino back on the Doomfist, he looked absolutely stellar on it before. But we do see the Reaper May being run on the attacking side rather. Reaper May rather does really put a lot of pressure on the Doomfist. It makes it hard for him to stay in a fight. The wall comes out there. Can they find punish?
And that the anti on the Reinhardt, and that's reset time for Midnight Blitz.
And it really has been a tale of one Anna in this fight, in this matchup so far. Omni finds a Baby D.Va kill, as well as Luca finding a kill on a Nick shot. This is definitely an opportunity, as we saw before, when the attacking side gets early kills.
Rifle Crumpet, I think he's choosing to bow down to the Ana. They don't want to play the Ana anymore. They're going to run the Moira, go Brutal Force with the May Reaper. The Reinhardt gets isolated. That's a very good play from the Midnight Blitz.
The freeze comes out in her frontal as well. He can't keep his Ana up, and Luca looking to redeem himself on this Lucio roll so far, picking up 2 kills. Dan does get a kill on Nino, not letting the Doomfist run rampant anymore. And Nickshot almost gets a kill with the Flash Fan, but unfortunately not enough for his team. And Chester Whippy cleaning up what's left of Supersonic Seals. Very quick first one cap, especially when you compare it to how long it took Supersonic Seals.
Yeah, they almost got full health, and look at the time bank. They're going to have a very good chance to get this point B, but it's whether the Sonic Seals can have an even stronger defense on the second point. I think the composition switch for Midnight Blitz is really good. As May Reaper, you just really want to go in there, use the wall, and just brawl your way through. Make sure you use as much. Just trying to bait out the defense matrix, really, because here comes Biotic Grenade. The Moira fades out of it.
The Blizzard comes out, doesn't find anything, no punches so far. Then High Noon on the high ground. Can he find an angle? Nice matrix from Omni. Completely denies it, only gets the mech in it, and the flashbang misses. Omni looking for the duel
Nino
right now.
Nino gets 2, they do lose the Ana, but they're able to stabilize, and this is what I was talking about. You can't take trades in 2CP, especially when you're attacking. You need to have a clean fight. You need to get those kills, those team kills, and they're going to be able to stabilize. It was looking very good for Midnight Blitz at first, but then it was really the Earth Shatter that kind of sealed it for the defense.
And now Dan making a swap over to the McCree off of the May. Personally, I would have liked to see the May McCree as opposed to the McCree Reaper. May just provides so much pressure on the enemy team's front line, especially when they're running something like a D.Va as opposed to Zarya.
That's true.
Means that you don't really have any answer to the May.
I think the Reaper should switch off, honestly. I think the Reaper should have swapped, and you have the May McCree is better. I think the McCree was pretty much just for the Doomfist to try and stun him. And that being said, McCree can also counter a Reaper really well with a flashbang if you can land it.
Soundberry gets committed on the defense. Definitely one you might want to see held onto as opposed to being used. As Nick Shot picks up a kill on the Luca. No match for the enemy team's Doomfist as a lone Reinhardt.
Here comes the stagger.
Great defense. And something people do tend to forget is you can actually stagger any hero you want. People generally stagger Baby D.Va as opposed to any other character because the ult charge she gains as the baby means it doesn't go over to her actual ult charge to her self-destruct. But you can stagger any character at all, whether it's a healer, a tank, even a DPS. As long as you can keep them from dying or getting back to their team, it means that you can keep them alive in your backline.
Exactly.
Actually, I mean, on the brig, this is interesting. Oh no!
Shut down immediately from Chester Whitby. They do get an outro though of his trade. They're already
coming up. This is an opportunity.
Oh, the Reinhardt goes down.
Wait,
it's not over yet.
There goes the headshot. Freltal out of the fight. This is an opportunity. So much time left on the bank. They have to take care of this Lucio quickly as possible. No people alive on the point. The flashbang comes out. Nice. Oh, nice shatter coming out.
Both shatters going down. They lay it down, but it looks like Midnight Blitz are gonna overwhelm the point. Freltel is going on the emergency wrecking ball, but the Reaper is there in the point. The damage is here, and I think it's gonna be a matter of time till the inevitable is going to happen. They're doing their best. They completely wrong.
The rally really sealing it here, not able to put in a lot of damage into the side of Midnight Blitz. Nice 3 kills, just cleaning up the feed. They have to keep trying to get as much time as possible, but with such little percentage left, Chester Whippy closes it up. 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Midnight Blitz coming back. They don't want to lose this fight just yet. They're definitely in this one for the win.
They are sending a message to my team saying, we're not out of it yet. We're not out just yet. You're going to have to try a little harder than that. We're going to have to see what my team does. It's still winnable for both teams if you can get a double cap. Really, that's what you want. If you get that double cap with the time. I've had games where you only had like 60 seconds on the clock, and we still completed the map, and the enemy team was just shell shocked after that. It's winnable as long as you can be smart with your ultimates, be smart with your engages. Anyone can win this game right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and I really did like the swap coming over. From Wrathful Crumpet onto the Brig. It provided a lot of AoE healing as well as utility with the armor, with the shield bash, with the whip shot.
Yeah, the shield bash especially, it made it so that the Doomfist really had to choose his engages wisely. He can't just go in the backline anymore and just tear through the enemy team. He was in danger of getting stunned. They had a McCree also. It was just, I don't know what went wrong, honestly. It just happened so fast.
Yeah, when you get a couple early kills like that, it does become difficult. Even though Supersonic Seals did get a kill onto the enemy team's Reinhardt, it just wasn't enough to stabilize. And now Nick Shot going over to the Mei. First time we've seen this on the side of Supersonic Seals all series long. And it seems like it's a sign of them just wanting to close out the series as quickly as possible now.
Oh, they did make a nice rotation on the right. They are now running the Mei for the first time in the series.
Man, Steppy's shield is very low, though. Gonna have to play a little bit safe till he can get it back. It's anti.
Very low. He is one. Nurture does get in the corner. They use the Mei, block him off. The immortality comes in, though. They are going to be able to survive.
And my camera somehow ended up inside the bell. Okay, I'm out. The sleep dart comes out on the rig.
That is a huge sleep dart. Are they going to be able to get follow up? Okay, the Mei wall comes in. That is huge. The Mei wall and the Reinhardt falls. That's exactly what they needed.
And the freeze means you can't do anything about it. Either the freeze on a Freltal, the Mei on the side of Supersonic Seals is doing so much, letting his Reinhardt swing away, get some easy kills because they can't run away from the big man with the hammer.
Chester Whitby was just taking a nap there. Probably not the best time to do so, but he had no choice. And they are looking very, very dangerous on this attack right now with the Blizzard. So many ults coming in, but then Dan is also going to have a Blizzard. It's anyone's ball game right now. But it does look to be in the advantage of the defending team. They just need one pick ready to close it off. They already used one Mei wall, early sound barrier, both walls getting traded. Here they go, they're going in right now. Here comes the Blizzard, here comes the bomb. Immortality Field coming through to save Ricardo. And
and the big Blizzard, the offensive side. Dan, nice Blizzard coming out, clutching up for his team. The attack visor comes out. Can he find anything on me in the meantime?
Trying to salvage anything he can, and it's too late. That's exactly what I was talking about. The defense definitely has the advantage. You just needed one pick, and the house of cards just crumble.
Absolutely, just great stuff coming out from both sides there. Really good heads-up play there to hold on to the Blizzard for both teams, but Dan just comes up with slightly more value in his Blizzard, and it really does take just a little bit more to completely change a fight on 2CP. Now, I've got to say, personally, I think Mei Reinhardt is one of the most horror movie-esque compositions you can ever run into. It's like when you're watching a horror movie, you see the person trying to run away, and they keep tripping over stuff because they can't get away from the killer, whereas Mei's freezing you up. You can't run away from the big man swinging the hammer around.
Exactly. You got to choose who's going to kill you. It's just a horror movie. And when she freezes you, it's like, which one do you want? The electric giant hammer German guy or the demonic demon ice queen, and she's gonna look straight into your soul before she launches that icicle in your face. It's just, which one do you want to get killed by?
Yeah, it really feels like a bit of a crossover between Frozen and Nightmare on Elm Street in that one.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. We're loading up onto the defense. This is Midnight Blitz's last opportunity if they want to try and win this series, I do believe. And they have to get the double cap here. Of course, on second point, they only have to get 33% of the point as opposed to the full point. But it means they still have to get through first point very quickly. They did do it earlier on. Let's see if they can do it again.
Oh, interesting pick here. They're going to be running the Sombra to try and get that EMP to try and seal it off. But can they charge it fast enough?
Now, we saw Chester Whippy struggling to get the EMP earlier on. If he can get it a little bit faster this time around. The
hack comes in, but then there comes the cryo freeze. The Sombra is now out of the fight.
That works. Oh, the shield is broken. That means the Rhino can get frozen. Rick in a difficult spot. The wall isn't there in time.
The focus fire is real. The res is going to come off.
And if they can break the defending Ryan's shield, that'd be absolutely massive. It means they could get a free freeze onto him, get an early kill, but unfortunately not enough. Great defense matrix coming out from Freltal on the defensive side. Damn, split off. Great Maywall coming out.
Oh, you do not want to see that from the Midnight Blitz. That's exactly at this point. You just get out. The horror movie. You just
on the flank. Oh yeah. Oh, the shatter's available. There it goes.
Oh, and the counter shadow from Messi Depe. They're gonna stabilize the point. They only have 50 seconds left. Chester Whitby is within 25% of getting that EMP. That's what they need. And the Blizzard. It's going to be interesting to see how this fight unfolds.
And if you're going to be playing the Sombra, you need to be building the EMP faster than this. I think Chester Whippy has just been playing with his team a little bit too much. You want to be finding off angles and just spamming into the enemy team's tanks.
They are looking for this Sombra right now. They hacked the Reinhardt, that's what they needed, but then Inoka gets the pick.
He's not even at his EMP yet. He has to come back and still build up the entire EMP. Blizzard comes out though, their Nano is there as well, the Blizzard doesn't get eaten. Nano picking up one. Oh man, this is looking bad for Midnight Blitz. The EMP is there, it completely nullifies the sound barrier, but Nick shot the headshot onto Wrathful.
It's too late, he got picked off in the start of the fight. That was, unfortunately, you hate to see it if you're on the side of Midnight Blitz. That was an unfortunate pickoff, but ironclad defense from the Sonic Seals.
And well, some of my friends have definitely been pointing out we've been seeing a lot of break plays of the game lately. She really does provide a ton of value in these mid fights. Whenever you're in a brawl like this, look at how you can just swing around left and right. You'll be getting healing, you'll be getting damage. You just have to bash and whip shot every once in a while, and you'll be doing more than enough on Brig.
Brig, you'd be surprised how much healing Brig does now. Like, it's crazy.
Oh,
the AoE heals. If you can keep landing those whip shots and landing those armor packs, you do a lot of healing, and you can also do a lot of damage. Oh,
yeah. From what I've heard, I think Brig actually does output more healing than Moira if you take armor into account. So really, one of the highest healing outputs the game has ever seen. Period. Just so much value if you can really get in there with the Brig. That's why you generally see teams run something like Brig Lucio or Brig Ana, so that either the Lucio can speed the Brig into the engagement, or the Ana can keep the entire team up as they can slowly trot forward towards the enemy team.
That I agree. Yeah. Sorry, I was just looking at the maps. I kind of zoned out there. So now we're going to the fourth map, and if Midnight Blitz doesn't win here, it's all over, folks. It's just they're on life support right now. We're going to Junkertown.
Yeah, Midnight Blitz definitely on the back foot right now. They definitely aren't out of the fight just yet. We saw great stuff coming out on Hanamura, but it's going to be difficult to bounce back from such a tough loss after getting such a great first point cap right there.
Definitely. I don't think any team has ever done a reverse sweep, not in a playoff system like this. I think San Francisco Shock was very close in Season 2 against the Shanghai Dragons, but Shanghai Dragons did bring it back in a GOATS match. I'm not sure if you saw that. But it's very hard to win 4 consecutive maps in a row. Especially, they're going to need immense mental fortitude if they want to bring this back. They need to reflect on what went wrong. But they were very close. They had a very strong defense. There are signs of life in this team. But at the moment, the Sonic Seals are looking very dominant. They're not keeping the pedal off the metal here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, as you said, mental fortitude a big part of the series. Of course, anybody can get on, play 3, 4, maybe even 5 games of Overwatch in a row, but once you start getting into those later maps, if you do manage to start...
It does. People tend to forget it's just a mental game. It's like a mind. It's a chess game, but also with like Call of Duty FPS stuff, right? And it's just really having that stamina to keep going, to keep pushing, and it's being able to go. Oh wait, sorry, I'm getting messages from my team.
Well, yeah, it really does make you think. You got to give mad props to people who play stuff like CS:GO or League of Legends professionally, who have maps that go on for like maybe even over an hour, depending on how the series has been going so far. And they have to play several of those maps a day. It really does become difficult when you're playing one thing for so long in a row. A lot like Season 2 of Apex back in the day when Runaway first made their debut with a 7-map series against Kongdu Panthera. That was a 7-hour stream.
7 hours straight? Oh, that is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the height of Runaway back then, and it really was impressive.
Alright, we're going to be heading to the 4th map now. And definitely, it's anyone's ball game here. Like, can the Midnight Blitz really resurrect themselves, because they are looking on life support, just barely breathing right now. They're going to need a miracle if they want to come back from this series, because it's just relentless pressure from the Sonic Seals.
And well, we saw Luca coming up clutch in the past whenever his team needed it the most, and I think his team really needs to prey on him now. If he can start landing some big sleeves, some big nades, or even if he doesn't play the Ana, we did see him playing the Lucio plenty before. If he can land a lot of crucial abilities or ultimates, it really could change how the series is going so far. Because so far the series has come down to, in my opinion, a lot of support play.
Yeah, definitely. The support's really like the unsung heroes in a lot of like you see it a lot. Like loads of supports don't get mentioned, and just the clean sleep darts, the sound barriers landing just in time, really keeping their team alive, just opening up these plays for these teams.
Yeah, I think people tend to just look at stuff like elims and damage, but it really does come down to, can your team self-sustain? Does your team have the positioning, have the support? All this kind of stuff is important. Your tanks are so important in a map like this. And I like the strategy we see on the defensive side coming out from Midnight Blitz. It seems like they're going to be going for a little bit of a bunker composition, trying to hide in this room, to try and just contest for as long as they can with the main walls.
I kind of like the idea, but I disagree where the position is, because if you're going to be running this style anyway, you're going to be wanting to do it and try and spawn camp this team, because when you're playing escort, you're going to be wanting to shave as much time as possible. Now they're stuck in this mini health pack. Look at the amount of progress that the Sonic Seals have. They're kind of stuck inside this little bunker. Ninocho is going around on the flank.
Well, now we do see the plan starting to unveil itself. They can just contest the payload from in here and sustain with the 2 shields, with the main wall.
But the biotic grenade comes in. JJ Depe goes down, but the biotic grenade was big, but then he falls down. They have the immortality field.
And already almost a whole minute down. So much stall coming out from this position. Nice kill onto Luca. Nino on this Genji is going to do so much damage. And the main walls and the ice block are going to make it so that Supersonic Seals can't push in unless they look for an off-angle.
Oh,
nice
it comes!
Shot.
They don't have the immortality. That's exactly what I was talking about. You lose the Baptiste, you lose the immortality, and the biotic grenade is a free kill.
Now, you did mention the spawn camping strategy, and in theory, this does burn off about the same amount of time. They did waste almost a minute and a half in that room, whereas if they had lost
I wasn't really sure what their strategy was until I saw it was very similar to what they did. I'm not sure if you've seen it, like in Route 66.
On Route 66.
Yeah,
exactly.
with the May wall, where they just try to stall as much as possible. I've never seen it on Junkertown. That's a very interesting strat, but they did shave quite a bit of time.
There is actually a way to do it as well on Dorado, over by the mini behind
Oh yeah.
Nice shot from Nickshot though, taking down the tire. They are stalling very early here. They're trying to get as much time on the payload as possible.
He gets the Baptiste words.
And Nino just keeps dashing in with no fear whatsoever. Complete confidence in his team to keep him up. Nickshot does get taken out by Chester Whippy, putting in a lot of damage on the Junker.
The Nano Blade is coming in. The Shatter gets Nino. He's still alive with the Nano Blade.
Though. Not much you can do when a Nano Genji just gets right back up after you've pinned him. It did manage to keep Omnicephus up though, which means that his team will be able to re-engage with the Bongo early on. They have the Bongo with the Coalescence available early. Now this is going to be an opportunity for the side of Midnight Blitz, but so many kills coming out.
It is just going south very fast for the defending team, and the payload hasn't been stopped ever since point A. It's just point B, there was just barely any defense. It was just all seals there. Looking at
Chester
like
Whippy
5 minute time bank.
Chester Whippy has swapped over to the Widowmaker to try and contest Nickshot on the Widow himself, but personally I have to disagree with this one. I don't really think the Widowmaker is the pick in this situation, especially with how aggressive Nino's been allowed to play so far.
Yeah, you have the Genji on your tail, and then you have another Widow you have to look out for. It's going to be very difficult, especially if it's Widow Junkrat. And then he loses the Widow 1v1. So much space is created from that. The Briota grenade is coming through and it's going down. The Immortality is going very, very south for Midnight Blitz, and
Nano
at
Blade
this point
is almost ready.
Another Nano Blade is coming up, and I disagree with this Junkrat pick at this point. You should just switch. Oh, they do get the Genji, and they're are they retreating? No.
And this fight isn't over just yet. The Genji
no,
being
they
down
are investing still. They're waiting for the Genji.
Yeah, really, if you have to pick any one here to get picked off, I feel like I would go for the Genji, but it does lead to plenty of kills coming out. Omni and Chester trying to clean up the fight just enough for the team to regroup. Nino almost gets taken out by Chester Whippy on the Widowmaker, but does manage to retreat to safety just in time. But as we said before, Nanoblade is available. If looping isn't absolutely perfect with this Immortality field, it could be absolutely deadly.
Oh, he challenges the Widow and loses the 1v1. That's going to drain some extra time. But I was just going to say they had an ultimate advantage, but that kill drains more, like at least 20 seconds extra time to get charged up for your ult. And like nearly both support ultimates are in line for Midnight Blitz. That kill was nice kill.
We're in a very similar situation though to what we saw before on Hollywood. A
Here
lot
comes
of
the
time
Nano Blade is
left
going
over.
in.
Oh, he's going for the Widow! He's overcommitting for the Widow! Oh, he finds Luca, though. Nickshot does get a kill on Omni, and we did accidentally pause. We'll get right back into the fight. As the Nano Blade starts to run out, he does get a kill on the Wrathful Crumpet with the end of the blade. And Nino, even though he doesn't get the kill onto the Widowmaker as it seemed like he wanted, just not enough damage coming out from the defensive side to deny this Genji's blade. Oh, Rick gets hooked and killed. Nice pull into the hook there.
Oh, there's a lot of damage coming through, but then they're not going to be able to get. They're not even shooting through it anymore. They're going to have to climb a mountain to win this map, honestly.
Absolutely. Nickshot picking up 3 at the end there, and the pulled port combo coming out from Supersonic Seals just looks unstoppable so far. They tried double shield into it. They tried their own Hog Orisa on the defensive side, but Midnight Blitz just not able to find the answer for this Orisa Hog.
Hog Orisa 2 isn't. I don't agree with that tank line, but it worked. It ended up working. You just a lot more spam damage, but the team has to play a lot safer when you run that. Orisa isn't really a main tank at the moment, especially in the Overwatch League. She's more used as like an off tank to use halts with assists. But that 600 HP barrier, you can't really rely on it very much because it just goes really fast.
The thing is, when you're running something like the Widowmaker, you lose a lot of shield spam coming out, which means that you can run the Orisa as a bit more of a main tank without the D.Va, without a Reinhardt. It means that if you have a Widowmaker, well, you just really can't be spamming out at the shields, because Widowmaker's value is 100% more in trying to find off angles.
That's a good point. Did they run a D.Va? No, they ran a Hog. I think if they had a D.Va to pressure the enemy Widow rather than a Hog, D.Va can counter a Roadhog quite well. If you can negate the most of the damage, someone gets hooked. If you defense matrix, you can negate the damage. And you can also abuse the mobility that Hog can't use the high ground. You can also just pressure the enemy sniper. Nickshot was really free to just shoot on his enemy team. Chester Whitby does get Frelzel though. Oh, that is looking very good for the offense.
And the value he was looking for on the defense, there's another kill. Raffle Crumpet on the Zen. I like this pick with the Discord. It means they can go very aggressive, but Omni goes in a little too ham. Nino taking him out, putting him back in his place. Chester Whitby does get a second kill though with the headshots on the T-Gen. Now Dan on this Junkrat is going to be looking for angles to spam into the enemy team. Rick takes a headshot from Nickshot, but isn't going to be enough to deny his team any value.
Yeah, this is looking very good. Double shield, it just really closes. The support's really good position here, very hard for the sniper. The Widow 1v1 is going off. Very dangerous spot for Nickshot, he's out in the open. 1v1 and he loses.
Nickshot gets taken out by Dan, but in the meantime, the rest of his team cleans up. So many kills coming out for the defensive side. Supersonic Seals did find an answer so far to this attack, and I think it does have to do a lot with Frelkel on the D.Va. On the D.Va, it means he can deny the Junkrat a lot more damage. It means he deny the Widow space if he needs to. So
exactly,
really
this is exactly what I was talking about. This D.Va pick really is what can win you the team. You're just there, you're the middleman. You can peel for your team, and you can also provide pressure. That being said, he wasn't being checked. Top left, he gets an initial pick, and here's an opening for Midnight Blitz. Here comes the Riptire coming through. Can he find a pick?
Oh, nice! Fire strike takes it out of the sky. Chester Whitby trades back for Nino after Freltal takes him out with the melee, but Freltal just in the backline completely free, just running all over these DPS. In the meantime, though, Luca does find a kill on the JJ in the middle of the fight. Freltal back in, loses his mech before he can help out anymore. And now Omni has an opportunity, whips the Shatter, and Raffle Crumpet takes down Nickshot before he can get anybody else. Freltal's a baby, he was still fragging out, he doesn't care.
Yo, people underestimate the baby D.Va. You can still get kills if you land those shots. They can do Nitro gets two with the Dragon Blade, and Freltal's about to get another one with the baby D.Va.
Yeah, I do believe Mini D.Va does about as much damage with her primary fire as Mercy does with her secondary fire with the Caduceus Blaster, and it really does provide a lot of damage if you're not paying attention.
They are going to get walls up here from the Widowmaker. Ultimate advantage is looking very even, actually. Both are going to have walls. Here come the Genji in the backline. Nobody's peeling for this Widowmaker.
Nobody's even looking at him. Oh, nice shot from Luca,
went too far deep, trying to go fishing, but then he finds a shark on the enemy side. But then here comes Nickshot, returning an enemy shot on the Widow.
Look for JJ.
Here comes the sleep down. It's ridiculous. Oh my god.
JJ just keeps flanking with sleeps and nades, and it's doing so much for his team. Freltal does punish Dan for going a little bit too ham right there. And so far, with 38 seconds left, Midnight Blitz can't find an answer for the side of Supersonic Seals. Nice late kill onto Wrathful.
That's an extra stagger. 30 seconds left. You don't want to see that.
Now Chester Whitby being pressured by the D.Va and the Tracer. They do get forced out, though, by the tanks. And this feels like it's been the first time that Chester Whitby's had any help at all with the enemy team by his tank line.
The Reinhardt just charges into no man's land. I think he's going to want to redo that one. Here comes the supercharger. They're just going to wait it out. Here comes the Riptire. They're going to need to find the pick here. Here comes the Air Shadow. It finds two.
Oh, the Riptire!
It is big, and I think it is all over. The Midnight Blitz doing everything they can. The Air Shatter. He lays it down. He lays it down, but it's not going to be enough.
Chester Whippy wanting to clutch this fight up though for his team. If he can find Protons, is it?
He
has to
no.
go. He has to touch. Gets the kill. Let's shoot just then. Chester Whippy and Nino. He gets support on the attacking side.
Oh
and
my
just
goodness! They clutched that out so hard there.
Chester Whippy single-handedly winning that fight for his team. Dan does get a late kill onto Nick's shot, and what looked like it was going to be an easy fight win for Supersonic Seals gets turned around by the attacking
alive
Widowmaker.
In this series. They're saying, no, we're not out yet. You're going to have to try harder than that. We're not dead until you finish. It was the Earth Shatter that really opened it up for the team. The Earth Shatter, the Widowmaker, they brought it back, and the emergency Doomfist. Ooh, I was very close there.
A really good reactionary punch there, but they get punished for chasing 2D. Freltal and JJ there for the punish. JJ seems to be everywhere as well as Freltal. It seems like he's flanking with his diva at this point. And it really has been paying off. The anti-nades there again on the Omni, and time and time again you see in the kill feed assists coming out from JJ on the Ana. So many anti-nades and sleep darts. A nice shot from Chester.
Oh no, Ninocho gets hit on the wall and he's sent back into the spawn.
Oh, the sleep dart! No!
Oh no! It's okay, they finished it up!
It just barely mistimes the pin. It's moved a little bit too much to the left. But it does seem like it's Midnight Blitz want to keep pushing with this. They know that they're up, that they're coming up on the shadow on the defensive side.
Here comes the nano boost. Oh, it is a he gets pinned all the way back. The counter, but it's not going to be enough. Freltal and all the other DPS are just cleaning house here with a minute to spare. It's looking very, very dire for Midnight Blitz.
And Freltal really has felt like a third DPS here for his team. He's been putting out an absurd amount of damage on the Diva, and it's completely uncontested. No Diva to contest him, no Roadhog even or Azaria to try and put pressure on this Diva.
Exactly, he's been definitely applying the pressure on these supports. There's a flanking Ana for some reason. I think he's going to want to reposition there. Trying to look for a Biotic grenade.
Oh!
Dodges the Earth Shatter.
As you said, Dan just barely is out of the way of the Earth Shatter, but Raffle is there to punish. Nice plays coming out from the break. He has gone back to the hero he popped off on Hanamura with, and they're in a very similar situation now to what they were on Hanamura. Oh, nice grapple gets Nick Shaw away from the side. Here
comes the anti-nade again.
And playing with Doomfist really does feel like a series of WWE wrestling moves left and right. Sajik Slam,
the Widow falls though, the Widow falls, here comes the beat.
Oh, the Sleep Dart onto the rallying brig as well, but it's not over yet. Omni and Luca winning it with Raffle in the back. So much damage being put out by the tank line. Yeah, again, the Shatter is there just to clutch it up, and Omni not giving up just yet, putting in so much work for his team in these overtime fights.
You know what we call this? We call this overtime power. It's like a conspiracy theory where people that are currently losing get like a special superpower when it's overtime, and they just magically win fights. It just seems evident right now. They're just able to pull the rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah, I had a friend who always said Overwatch was rigged to always lose or win in overtime, and that's what it feels like so far in this series. JJ does get a kill onto Rick before anything can happen, though, and Omni just going to try and push the payload as much as he can before he has to back out. Now Nino on the McCree, trying to deal with Dan on the Doomfist. He's been putting in a lot of damage. Dueling infrasites coming up for these Widowmakers. They're trying to find an angle, but they don't find it just yet. And in the meantime, the defensive side just backs up. They don't want to deal with the Widowmakers' line of sight.
Oh, Dan does get Nick shot. That's big. They somehow, I think they nanoed the Lucio for some reason. I don't know why. A Boostio for some. The Ninocho is on the McCree. Very unorthodox pick here. He's normally on the Genji. He's normally on the projectile, but he's going hit scan. Chester Whitby picks him off. 20 seconds left on the clock.
And it looks like Overwatch is going to be rigged yet again. Overtime power coming in, as you said. So much damage being put out by the attacking side.
Oh, nice I can't believe what I'm seeing here. They're still clutching it out. The sleep dart comes in.
And what looks like it's going to be a good hold for Supersonic Seals gets absolutely opened up by the side of Midnight Blitz. Dan picking up 2 kills. There goes Luca finding his opposite Lucio. Looking for a third. Oh my god, they almost got off the point. That was almost devastating for Midnight Blitz. After all of this, the C9 the point would be awful. The D-Bone comes out. Wrathful is there for the punish.
I don't believe I don't believe what I just saw here. They were on the verge of getting full held in first point. 3 overtime fights. They won all 3 overtime fights and finished the map. Are you kidding me?
Well, Spiel, I said at the beginning of the series we were hoping it was going to be a good one, and it's been absolutely great so far. So many back and forth fights in this series. First 2 maps were just Midnight Blitz starting to warm up, trying to get in the right mindset, and once they did warm up, we've been seeing absolutely great play coming out from both sides so far.
Like you said it, man, like, you can't count this team out. Like, it's not over till it's over, and it feels like with a minute to spare, can they still sustain this overtime power? Or will the Sonic Seals just put the foot on the door and say, no, we're going to the final?
A good friend of mine always says it doesn't matter what point you are on the map. You could be down by 5 minutes on 2 CP. It's still a winnable game. And at the same time, it's still a losable game. No matter if you're up 3-0 with an insane first point attack, you really do have to be keeping in mind that this is always losable and always winnable. You have to be playing to your absolute best at all times.
It's never over until that final screen shows up.
Uh-oh. It looks like we're going out raiding for some pirates here with Dan for the win on the Bastion. Looks like we're going to see the fabled pirate ship on Junkertown. Of course, the best map for this composition. And the rest of the shield's already down. So, as you said, 600 health means you can't really stay behind it for too long. Gets spammed out very quickly, especially by Junkrat. And Nina with a great heads-up play here. Nice engage, but Chester Whitby finds 2. Can he find a third? Nina's in there. He's looking for a third.
The Bastion is down, though. The Bastion is down. That's exactly what they needed. They needed to get the Bastion off the payload, and the pirate ship will be halted. Now the
How do you halt a pirate ship? I don't know, but it seems like Supersonic Seals have found the answer as a step
the Reinhardt goes down.
That's a crucial kill right now for the attacking side. No shield on the enemy side means they have to be very careful on their engages. And you see both DPS taking flank angles along with Freltal, going very deep right now. Nice sleep there onto the enemy Diva, though, making sure she can't just freely take out Chester Whitby. No shield alive just yet.
You know,
the Shatter's available!
Oh, it's big! The Biotic Grenade Nitro trying to salvage anything he can from his team. Oh, the Shatter is big! It is huge!
They were down!
Nitro gets 3! Oh my god!
Oh, well, it looked like it was about to be a first point cap, which would have been instrumental in Midnight Blitz's attempt to try and reverse sweep this. Gets held onto by an absolutely great shadow coming out from Steppy on the Reinhardt. The Nano Boost came out, as you said, as well. And so much value coming out of these tanks so far.
You can't forget the J-Crat though. The J-Crat really there. he just unloaded all of his mines and all of his grenades onto that Bastion, and the Bastion just couldn't do anything because he was getting anti-naded every time. He keeps finding these angles to get the purple anti-nade. And what can you do?
Nothing worse than being on the ground and hear the clunk, clunk, clunk of a Junkrat approaching you. So much damage being able to be put out by that hero. And I think people do underestimate him in certain situations, especially against the Bastion composition. That was a great heads-up play for Ninotro to be on the Junkrat. He's definitely one of the best heroes to deal with Bastion. He has mobility, and even if he dies on the Bastion, he's going to put in a ton of damage with his Total Mayhem.
It is... Currently, it's going to be an impossible task. 3 minutes on first point. They're going to have to hold spawn here.
And it looks like they're going to be going for the exact same strategies before. I don't agree with this one.
I don't agree with this.
You pull out as a surprise.
Yeah, you need to take the first fight.
Oh,
right in the spawn.
I don't like this either. Taking the mini, I'd rather them take the mega room, as there's a flank that's so easy to access on the attacking side in the mini room.
It's the exact same thing.
But JJ and Nino are sneaking around trying to find out where the enemy team is positioned. They do finally scout them out. If JJ can find a big anti-nade, this would be a game over. He goes for it, doesn't find it though, but Nick
finds a pick on Chester Whitby.
And that feels like game over already for this team. Gonna have to see some clutch plays coming out from Dan.
Ninotro gets
Ninotro!
two!
Dash resets left and right! Let's go!
He
Dash
gets
resets
three!
again! So much damage being put out by the Genji, just dashing back and forth through 3, 4, maybe even 5 people at a time. And when you can't really stun him out of it, it's gonna be really difficult to contest him. Last second stall characters are coming out for the defending side, but I don't even know if they can touch.
I think they're going to be able to touch, but they're going to be trickling in.
Oh, and the shatter is there. Big shatter from salvage. Almost gets taken down. Very low. Chester Whippy does find a kill under Ninotro.
Oh, that's big.
This is the opening they needed. If they can find another kill on the defensive side, this is absolutely
the Rhino gets 2 with a fire strike.
He doesn't even need a halt with it. All he needs is his fire strike. The point.
Oh, there was C9. Oh my god. Imagine if they C9 that.
Oh man, that would be absolutely heart-wrenching to watch.
You cannot end a series with an old Charlie Niner. You do not want that. Emergency wrecking ball here.
Man, that was so close to being just automatic first point cap for the side of Supersonic Seals.
Could you imagine if the baby diva won it won the series like that? That would have been
that'd be extremely frustrating. Now we see enemy team of Midnight Blitz trying to find an off angle to try and get an early pick. Just
all the CC, this wrecking ball is just eating all that CC. Here comes the Nano.
Oh, Nino's flanking Chester, he doesn't know. This could be an early kill into the Widow. No, nothing is found just yet. Relative very low right now. Has a demon bomb. There it goes. No immortality field.
It is
huge. The pin. Great pin, awesome combo coming in from Omni, or sorry, from salvage with the pin and the bomb. And just like that, it seems like this will be the end of Midnight Blitz. They did their best. They had some great fights, but at the end of the day, they weren't any match for Supersonic Seals. The pin gets canceled just for good measure.
Are going to cash their tickets to the final of Blackwatch. Wow, that was a roller coaster of a series, Angels. Jeez.
Especially on that last map, so many situations where we were on the verge or on the edge of our seats, rather, trying to figure out what was going to happen. But hands down, Ninotro putting in so much work for this last fight.
The Earth Shatter and the Riptide combination here.
Oh my god. And this has been an absolutely insane series to watch. It's just been a great time so far. And I'm not sure if we're gonna try and get the captains in here.
Yeah. I'm already in here, but we can. Well,
the captains who've been playing.
Yeah. Yes, Tobias. Hello. Wait, was it noisy in the party? Okay. Okay. We can try to bring Chester to talk here, if you like.
Yeah, it'd definitely be nice to see how both sides experience the game, but since we have you here, of course, congratulations on the win. That was a great series to watch.
Yeah, thank you so much for, like, especially casting the team, being here with me. Like,
of course.
I'm very proud of my team. Like, we've come a long way, especially since we first started. We've had our difficulties for sure. We've had people leaving, which is very hard, and then we had moments where things just weren't going as well as we should have, especially in scrims. So to get in this position now, especially preparing for CGL as well, I'm very proud of my team, very proud of my players. So.
Yeah, definitely. Y'all definitely have improved since I first started casting for you guys. It's really refreshing to see a team get so.
Yeah, we are ready as it can be. We're ready to win the entire thing. We're coming for WGA. We're getting that trophy.
I'm definitely excited to watch that series go down.
Dan, we can interview Dan here. Actually, he's Um, okay. Okay, I'm just inviting him to the party. But yeah, I mean, personally, Midnight Blitz played really well, especially in Hanamura. Their defense is very strong. There were just some really very small misplays, and the thing with Overwatch is it's so brutal. The smallest mistakes can kind of like domino affect the entire game. Really, the Sombra getting picked so early in the fight really just won it for us on that defense, and it was just small mistakes like that could just turn around the fight. But yeah, Chester Whitby as well. Chester played really well. Chester, hello.
Hello, Dan.
Yes.
So, tough loss, but really, you guys came in really strong, especially for the Junkertown map. And
Yeah,
it was
you
definitely a really fun series to watch.
You guys played really well, especially on Hanamura. That the defense in the first point was very good. You almost full held there, so I commend you guys for that.
Yeah, we did, but we didn't.
It's okay.
You can
like
come back next
yeah,
time and
you can come
take
back
it
next
all.
time.
So I gotta ask, how I just want to know how y'all's reactions were when Chester clutched up on that first point of Hanamura and just started clicking heads, because that must have been absolutely crazy in your chat.
Oh, you mean in
Junkertown? We actually
Junkertown?
hate him, and we actually hate him, and we don't like him anymore. No, we just hate him, and we think he's trash. Because that's the first thing he's ever done.
Well, did you guys come into this feeling prepared, feeling a little unprepared maybe, or over-prepared? How did you
I
guys...
haven't actually played this game in about a month, so...
Oh, okay. So it's definitely a rough spot to be in for your team there.
Nah, I think it worked out fine, to be honest.
Yeah, no, you guys, considering not playing for almost a month, you guys played absolutely great. That was a really fun series to watch. And as Phil said, your Hanamura defense was impeccable, really.
Well, I wouldn't say it was impeccable. I mean, we did lose.
Oh, yeah. You can only hold on for so long, right?
It's very hard to full hold on first point 2CP, but we definitely had a tough time breaking through the May defense. You guys did a really good job shaving off the time.
Yeah, we were playing a bit of a AIDS competition.
Yeah, I mean, meta is meta. You're gonna have to play it to win. You know, it's all right.
Yeah, of course. So we do like asking in Blackwatch Tower, if you had to name one MVP for the enemy team, who do you think you'd give it to?
Oh, that's hard. I mean, there were so many good players. Like even Dan himself, like he clutched on the Doomfist. Chester popping off on the Widow, especially in Junkertown. On their side, but I think I'm going to give it to the supports. You know, I'm going to give it to the Lucio. I don't know who the Brig and Lucio was. He was clutch, but everybody in your team played really well.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that I would give it to your Ryan. I don't know who that was, but
Shane. Yeah, SC-Death.
Yeah, the Reinhardt, because our Reinhardt was getting pummeled, so you know, I think they kind of outplayed them.
Yeah.
Well, that was a great series to watch. Thank you guys for coming in and playing for us, and thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. No worries. Yeah, thanks for the game, and thanks to the people watching. Yeah, we're gonna close out now. All right, thanks for playing. Right.